Following the release of Two Lovers, Joaquin Phoenix would announce his retirement from acting to pursue a career in rap. Joined by his at the time brother-in-law and budding filmmaker Casey Affleck, this journey and the public's reaction would be filmed. Hello, everyone. I'm Caleb Leger.
I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
Welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Bad. Today, we'll be talking about the incredibly ill-advised attempt at a secretly filmed mockumentary, I'm Still Here, one which also proved to be very tricky to write the opening fucking plot for. It took me quite a bit staring at my computer. Secretly filmed in an attempt on Phoenix's part to explore the relationship shared between media / fans and celebrities. It would go down much differently than intended. With people were more concerned by Phoenix's increasingly erratic behavior at the time, again, due to it being secretly filmed, the film would release to pretty mixed reviews and quickly dismissed. On that, I will shoot it to Connor for the score.
Isn't it great when an artist's passion project they spend 2 years living a completely different life for is immediately dismissed by everyone who just didn't give a shit? And then he just immediately, I'm glad Paul Thomas Anderson was there to throw you a bone there, Joaquin, because God knows you needed one, you fucking psycho. Okay.
Yeah, it's real quick. It's funny too, because this is like, I just now thought about it, because we've been on the FILMGAZM team all taking turns with Voodoo watching Clerks 3, and it's amazing how now I can truthfully, I've seen two different ends of like passion project spectrum. There's this shitty end, but I'm Still Here, where it was like public went God no, and then there's Clerks 3. Do a passion project right and actually get your audience to care as much as you did making it.
Yeah. And a good way to do that is to not just be a giant asshole, even if it's in jest, to literally everyone you meet for 2 years. And then be like, surprise. And, everyone was like, all right. And he was like, I need a job. Okay. 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, critic score, audience score 38%. So everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Critics' consensus reads, as unkempt and inscrutable as Joaquin Phoenix himself, I'm Still Here raises some interesting questions about its subject, as well as the nature of celebrity, but it fails to answer many of them convincingly. And I agree. It's like, what's the point here? Like, nothing's being skewered. There's no, like, the satire isn't clear. It's just watching Joaquin Phoenix make an ass out of himself for an hour and 40 minutes. There's no like thesis here.
And that to me is what's crazy, because Josh actually joined me on watching this one. Usually dips out of the Beyond the Bad movies I watch.
If you don't have to, why would you?
Yeah. He watched this one though, and I mentioned about we were recording, or while we were watching, not recording, while we were watching. This film would have gone down so much better had he just said, "Hey, I am filming a mockumentary that's doing this," and actually honed in on what they wanted to talk about. Because there is something to be said about, yes, the relationship between celebrities and fans and the media. And honed in on that, and just been like, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and let actually be in on the joke. This would have probably gone down a lot better and been a much more better remembered film.
Well, the thing is, like, he could have done this like that way, like the way he does, just announced to everybody, I'm quitting acting. I'm going to be a rap star now. He could have done that. But the thing is, like, why did he have to do that and be an asshole about it? Like, why did he have to dismiss everybody? Why did he have to act like he was having a complete nervous breakdown and just alienate everybody who was like, what the hell's going on with Joaquin? Like, why did he have to create that in the midst of this attempted satire? Because a lot of people are going to remember him as the dude who dipped out for 2 years to make this crazy shit. And was it worth it?
No, It's like, and that's the thing. They're going to remember that, and they're going to look at, instead of looking at this film, we're going to go back to the David Letterman interview when he was not answering questions and put the gum under the fucking table and just acting so goddamn confrontational. Which, of course, they put in the documentary. I remember watching this, having flashbacks when our parents were watching that interview. Because my mom saw that, and was like, "What is happening, Joaquin Phoenix?" And I'll get more into it in our awards, but I mentioned Josh one point. I'm like, the other thing that people forget that makes this, along with him being the asshole, is the public's aware of his history. They are aware that he is a part of a very interesting family, to say the least. And for those who are wondering how Casey Affleck was his brother-in-law, because at the time Casey Affleck was married to his sister Summer Phoenix. But for those who don't know, like, his older brother was River Phoenix, which he was quite the talent back in the day. Well, at Johnny Depp's club, which I don't know if Johnny Depp even has that club anymore. I haven't bothered looking into that.
I don't think he owns the Viper Room anymore.
I don't think he does either. But River Phoenix OD'd, and Joaquin was there that night when it happened. He witnessed his brother OD and die. And this is on top of some kind of, if you look into the family history of the Phoenixes, it's not the best. Especially in regards to how their parents kind of used them. So with all that, knowing at the time, the public knowing all that, and then him choosing to go this route and filming it, like, you didn't think people were gonna be like, now you're what? Oh, the stuff at Rivers really coming to the forefront now. Oh, he's his mental break. Like, how did he think that would go down with people knowing his fucking backstory? He's been a public figure for so long.
Yeah. I mean, we saw, when he accepted Best Actor in 2019 for Joker, it was the first time he talked about his brother publicly, like, ever. He's never faced this. He's never gotten over his brother's death. And when this happened, yeah, a lot of people were like, well, here it is. It's, you bottle that shit up long enough, it's going to explode. And this is what we thought that was the breakdown. Like, this was it. Like, we thought he was going to be, found dead in a hotel room somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was all a joke. It was all a big haha, just for the laughs. And
Right.
No one was fucking laughing except for him and Casey Affleck. I do think it was funny that, like, while this was happening, everyone was like, Joaquin Phoenix is having a breakdown. And for some reason, Casey Affleck is always there.
Yeah. Why is he always? But then it was like quickly dismissed as, well, he's his brother-in-law, so I guess they hang out a lot. Yeah, and then that's the crazy thing too, is that when it came out again, Joaquin, how do you think people were going to react when it was a joke? People were genuinely concerned, dude, thinking like, oh shit, this talent is, like you said, it's happening. He's breaking down. It's come to the surface. And then just find out, like, oh, he was fucking with us for 2 years. Fuck you, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he needed a fucking hit movie at that point. I think it was The Master, not too long after.
I think The Master was, that was his, like, he got nominated for an Oscar. He was back in Hollywood's good graces. Everyone was like moving on from the travesty. I feel bad for the producers and director of Two Lovers. That film got completely overshadowed by this bullshit. Nobody ever talked about that movie. It just became...
There's a reason it doesn't work with Magnolia. It's in my development, but there's a reason it doesn't work with Magnolia. They were fucking pissed.
Yeah. God. But yeah, The Master was his return, and everyone was just kind of like, all right, it was a joke. But I think, he lost a lot of credibility.
He did. And I would honestly now, probably a year or so ago, especially with obviously Joker, I would say he is probably fully back in good graces and trusted again. Yeah. But you kind of saw it, like, he had to be trusted again. So it's like, dude, we know your family history, like, we know it because it's just public, and then you pulled this shit, turned out to all be a joke. Like, how do you think people are going to respond? And it's funny because even when I was watching with Josh, dude, we watched it on Sunday, which, for those who may not know, there's a little show that apparently is becoming a bigger and bigger hit per episode, and it's 2 episodes that have aired on HBO called The Last of Us. that we were, I was like, okay, hey, I gotta watch this, and then we'll watch the new episode of The Last of Us. And as soon as the movie ended, Josh was like, holy shit, put on The Last of Us, put on the goddamn show. I need this out of my head.
Yeah, it had that reaction of like, who is this for? Like, how the hell did he pitch this to Casey Affleck or like
Well,
anybody? I can't.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, considering what we now know apparently about Casey Affleck, um, which we'll dig into a little bit. I'm not gonna go too deep into in development, but we'll dig into it a little bit. Um, I'm starting to think it didn't take a whole lot to convince him.
You're probably right. They're all fucking wacko. But
Yeah,
I imagine, what if they'd filmed all this and Joaquin was like, all right, here's my passion project. Let's do this. And everyone was like, no. What if Hollywood hadn't been so forgiving and this was the death nail for Joaquin Phoenix?
yeah. And I don't. Why would you even play that game, dude? Like, why would you risk that?
That's why you tell your publicist, you tell your agent, you tell the pertinent people like, hey, I'm gonna try this experimental thing, just roll with it. But he didn't do that. He didn't have any kind of safety net. He convinced everybody that he was completely out of his goddamn mind. And that was kind of it. Everyone was like, all right, I guess Joaquin Phoenix is over. Moving on. Like there was no like, let's mourn his career. It was all like, all right, now we don't have to deal with him.
Yeah,
because he already had a reputation being kind of a prick.
Yeah.
Then he did this.
Yeah, I remember that time because he's a very a lot of people talk about he's very gets into like getting into the character, and he's one of those he's very meticulous about his craft, and
he hates the whole celebrity thing. He hates doing press junkets. He's pretty dismissive of fans. He's just not a good dude.
Yeah, he's not a good, like, look, if you ever heard about great actor, one of the best actors working. Don't know how I feel about his new movie, man, because Ari Aster, and he lost some points with me with Midsommar.
True, but that the points were high with Hereditary, so I'm willing to give him another chance for that.
That's fair. That's fair. And at least this time, it looks like he is not trying to do a horror film. He's trying to do something a little bit different.
Maybe I couldn't really tell.
Who fucking knows? But like, oh shit, I already lost my train of thought with that. But fucking, oh yeah, shit. Look, in case anyone's, I have a very long week. I'm so sorry. Great actor, but from what I've heard, awful fucking person to deal with in general. And then he wants to do this and like up his douchebaggery to a whole new level.
It's insane. I can't believe how many people in this show. Like I don't know who in this doc was in on it and who wasn't. I know like a couple people were like Diddy was in on it, Ben Stiller was in on it, but a lot of people were just like kissing his ass because he's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. And for those who may have seen me, like, how is Ben Stiller in on it if he had that whole scene when he goes to read the script, but then they showed his Oscar move he did to make fun of the David Letterman interview, because that Oscar thing happened first, and then they filmed the scene we went to do like, hey, I have this movie ideal. That was done afterwards. So he actually, like everyone, thought Joaquin Phoenix was losing it, and then they reached out to him and was like, hey, no, actually, this is what's going on. Could you do this scene for us?
Hollywood is so fucking weird, man. I mean, I love the products we get. I love film. I love, the art, but the industry itself, the fact that this can happen and then all is forgiven is so fucking crazy to me. You imagine any other job where you just start acting like a total prick and then 2 years later you're like, it was a joke. And you don't get fired. Insane.
And attempt to pursue a shitty second career. But with that, before we go deeper in this I have probably the deepest question I've asked on all of Beyond the Bads, because again, like this plot line, I started this computer for like 15 goddamn minutes trying to come up with a question surrounding this movie, and then I honed in on the thing that the critics pointed out. So with that question this week, since this is a film that does attempt to do this, why do you think that we have such an obsession here in America, at least, with celebrities and celebrity culture?
That's a good question.
I know. That's why I came up with that, just staring at my computer for like 15 goddamn minutes.
I think that it's because people in this country are we've been raised since birth to believe we can accomplish anything. That if you just try hard, you'll be rich, you'll be famous, you'll be you know the celebrity culture is what we all aspire to because it's a world we'll never be a part of. It's a world that looks exciting, that feels enticing. It's fun, it's weird, but it's it's hard to explain. It's just like
I think
we
it's not.
all, yeah, go try it.
I think on like thinking about like a materialistic side, right? It's having the ability for once to not worry about getting what you want and having what you want because you have the money for it. You have people at your back and willing for it. Like for to give you an example, I recently Slipknot, the band Slipknot, they apparently do their own whiskey now. And one of the members, Clown, he's the one that beats on the trash cans with a baseball bat, sometimes baseball bat being on fire. Um
Okay.
He's actually one of the biggest creative minds behind the band, actually. That's I'm just in a nutshell telling you what he does. But he's actually one of the key components of like the songwriting. He writes a lot of their songs and directs their videos. Um he came out with a moonshine and I bought it. I'm not it cost me over like $100, right? For like a 2 pack of the whiskey and the moonshine. So for example, just that 100, me, regular middle class fucking dude, as soon as I got to the checkout, I went, oh God. I didn't know I was going to spend that much. And it took a lot for me to finally do that because in my head, I'm like, oh, I got this bill to pay. And then what if I want to get this later? And blah, 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 Whereas if I had all this money at my disposal and, it's this rich famous celebrity, I would be like, that'd be like fucking whatever. I'd be like, I got millions, whatever. Order, done. It's like that, things like that. I think why people have that obsession. That's just a little like microcosm example, but that idea of like having whatever you want and not for once worrying about, oh, if I get this, why have money for this later? You know what I mean? Where people do this, or also when obviously we've seen celebrities that can get away with quite a bit of things, legal or otherwise. I'll say it like that. So I think it's the idea of like being untouchable, being like above the law, to an extent.
Well, in regards to that moonshine, I'll have to pick some up before I forget. But
Hopefully, it comes in when you're here.
the uh the whole thing about like celebrity culture, I think that we all want to think our voice matters. We all want to think that, one day I could be famous. One day, I deserve it. It's like a sense of entitlement, you know? And some people do get it. And once they get it, we see it transform them into, crazy people like Joaquin Phoenix. Not everybody, but a lot of people, you know, that sense of entitlement is amplified by a million because now you've got people doing everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but it's something that a lot of us, if we had the opportunity, if like somebody came to you and said, I can make you famous, how many of us would say no? It's, if it was a sure thing, it's hard to believe, it's hard to accept. But a movie like this shows, like, do we really want to be in that mindset? Do we want to be, spied on all the time, hunted, hounded by the fucking paparazzi? Like, everyone knows your face, privacy's dead. Is that really a world we want to live in? I don't think so.
I think that's the part people forget. We are so obsessed with people wanting to like us in the human interaction, the human need to just have people, like you said, our voice mattering, and thinking that being famous and having all this money and living this luxurious life is going to solve all of your problems. And it's not. What people forget is that, like you said, at the end of the day, you're a human being. And at the end of the day, is it worth the extreme loneliness you feel because you don't know who your actual friends are, or you are just hanging around you because you got money, because you're so and so, right? Is it worth the loss of privacy because everywhere you go, there's someone with a camera taking a fucking picture of you and taking out of context shots to create some kind of controversy? Is it worth everyone knowing who the hell you're dating or fucking? Because that seems to be one of the biggest goddamn news stories every single time. Oh, so and so's on a romantic getaway with so and so. Like, who gives a shit? I don't care if who the hell Kylie Jenner is fucking. Like, she's a grown woman. Let her fuck who she wants to fuck. Let her date who she wants to date. Jesus Christ. Is it worth the constant judgment you get constantly from the press, from just regular people? The things that are said to these celebrities online. We were talking about before we recorded. The things are being said to James Gunn by shitty, fucking toxic Snyder fans all the time, instead of just trusting this guy to do whatever he's doing with DC. No, and he has to see that every fucking day his phone is on. He's getting notifications from assholes. That's part people forget about, and it's like, is it worth it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we forget they're people. We forget that not every, but some people are born into celebrity, and those are shallow, hollow motherfuckers.
Looking at you, Gwyneth Paltrow. Sorry, Austin.
Yeah. Check out the back catalog for more on that. But a lot of people, start as just regular dudes, regular women who just, have a talent and it's discovered and they become millionaires because of it. And a lot of people think, well, if they did it, maybe I could do it. But here's the thing. I'd say about 10 to 15% of the world's population are actually talented.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them are a bunch of space wasters, and you just got to accept that.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that people forget that just because you're famous doesn't mean you're rich too. Like, okay, I know it's going to be kind of, since it's been in the fucking news, because Kate Blanchett asked the question that she asked and the certain community won't shut up. Look, I'll put it in basic terms. Kate Blanchett sure kept her mouth shut. At the same time, anyone online, please shut up by now. It's annoying now. But the reason I point this out, right? Everyone, when it comes to metal, right? Thinking about metal, people look at bands like Slipknot, Metallica, well, they retired now, but Black Sabbath, and go, I can do that and make millions. But then they confuse it and they look at bands, thinking about some newer bands like Lorna Shore, Mastodon, Gojira, like these newer, more aggressive extreme metal bands, and think, oh, I can do that and be famous. And like, no, actually, those guys live in a house just like you and me, because yeah, they can live off that, but they're not making millions. That's another thing people forget. Like, you can be famous, you can be known, and still actually just be barely scraping by, depending on what the hell you chose, what the hell you're talented in, what your talent is and what you chose to do.
I went to the movies last week. I went to see the hell did I go see? I don't remember. But Missing. That's what I saw. Missing. And beforehand they have that Nuvi thing, where they do the lady was interviewing a couple celebrities for like movie trivia, and they were TikTok celebrities. And I had no idea who the hell these people were, but they have apparently they're millionaires because they can do funny shit on social media. Celebrity has become so fractured since I'm still here, in that 12-year span or 13-year span. The very idea of celebrity has gotten so out of proportion that pretty much anybody has the capability to be famous these days if you just know how to work a social media app. You don't have to be good at anything. You don't have to be you don't have to discover anything. You don't have to have an agent. You just have to know how to look goofy, really. It's actually kind of infuriating. I miss when you had to matter to be famous.
That's what a lot of, actually, not because I mentioned, that's what a lot of metal bands are learning. That's why a band like Lorna Shore blew up, because they had that song that they came out with. They've gone through like 3 singers, right? The first one left to go be in a different band. The second one they dropped because allegations popped up, and they, with in a second, were like, you're out. And then they got their newest guy who's staying on, and they premiered this song with him called To the Hellfire, and it fucking has this minute-long breakdown, scream, and to the point where he does what sounds like fucking pig squealing the way he's doing it. And that end middle part found its way to TikTok, blew them the fuck up. And now they're opening for these huger bands, and they've gained so much traction. So yeah, it's insane, even on like that side of it, right? What social media is like doing for these people. Like you said, having these TikTokers, these YouTubers, Instagram people that can make millions just being on social media, or bands learning how to fucking use it to their advantage to, get up there, especially an extreme metal band like that. That, let's be honest, probably like I may like them, but obviously, it's a niche thing. Like without that fucking, that's what they did with that song, it taken on TikTok, they probably wouldn't have blown up the way they did. But they got lucky and they did, and now they're enjoying their success and continuing it luckily.
Yeah, I mean, look at Adult Swim is looking at TikTok impressionists as potential replacements for Justin Roiland on Rick and Morty. Like the pool has widened so crazy. It's like you don't really have to put any effort in to like be somebody anymore. And I wonder if, is this what Joaquin was trying to tell us when he said, "Oh, I can be a rapper because I'm already famous"? I don't
Maybe.
know. Yeah.
I don't know, because again, this film doesn't really hone in on what it's trying to tell. But yeah, it is an interesting concept, because we have gotten to a point where it's fractured. And look, I don't want to be I never want to truly be the guy be like, oh man, like really a TikToker made millions. Like, in all fairness, good for them. You know what I mean? Like, hey, they're making a shit ton of money. I wish I had people that care enough to fucking be able to pull something off like that. You know what I mean? But it is to a point where it's like, man, it just seems to be like anything almost under the sun can make you fucking famous. It used to be like you had to be an actor, a musician, a successful author, um, or something like that. And now you can just be really, really, really good at social media. And again, I know these social media guys do an actual lot of fucking work. Like it's almost a full time job having to do what they do, because they're always worried about subscribers and content and blah blah blah. But just again, just basing everything down to a nutshell, right, into basic terms. I wish I would have that ability to be like just worry about fucking social media all day and make millions.
Yeah. I wish I could, Twitch streamers and those, kids who do, unboxing videos for toys, like, hot chicks who just do shit on OnlyFans. Like it's all just, to me, it's all mostly just talentless people who know how to game the system. And
Mhm.
it's so crazy because I wish I knew how to game the system.
Yeah,
It's
well,
it's infuriating.
it's the internet. I mean, the internet really was the biggest breakthrough with all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's what's happening. Is internet helped these people be able to like be like, 'cause yeah, Twitch. I remember people, because like for I'm obviously I know we're all kind of gamers here on Filmgasm. I'm the type that likes, I know this, but for our fans, I'm the type that likes single player games. So I'm very like, I'll focus on a single player game. I'll fucking explore the world as much as possible before I move on to the next one. Which has sometimes like not always worked in my favor with getting older and not having as much time, and my back catalog just growing, and me keep buying new games because I'm a fucking idiot and can't stop. Um, but um at one point someone was like, "Man, you should, with the way you play, you should think about doing Twitch. You could do really good." And I was like, "No." I was like, "You realize it's a lot like harder than it seems, because I have to be able to play the game and crack jokes. That's what a lot of these Twitch streamers are doing. They're playing the game, they're cracking jokes, interacting with the audience, and sometimes again that confusion we do when we look at it and go like, man, that's all they do. Not necessarily. Sometimes, until they get to some point, they're doing this after they get off work.
Mhm.
Then they're dedicating their time. So they have a day job, and then they're twitching on like in the evenings, on the weekends when they're off, until they can get to a point where it's like, no, now this is what they do. And those who make that, like, goddamn, like I wish I could do it to where like, yeah, what's your job? Oh, I just pick up the whatever new games out, and I air myself playing it entirely, and I make a lot of money doing that. I make a comfortable living. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, there's no way to get in on that now. It's like I just every time there's a new social media thing or a new star who emerged doing some dumb shit, I always think like, oh, there's another boat I missed. I can't comprehend it because I'm just not. It's surpassed my generation. I don't understand it. I'm the old guy now.
Yeah, it's weird. We used to be on the cusp of it. Now I've hit 30. And I'm just like, God, what is this new thing you guys are talking about?
Reminds me of that the famous quote from Grandpa Simpson. I used to be hip. Or I used to be with it, and they changed what it was, and then what I thought was cool was no longer cool anymore, and it's gonna happen to you too.
Yeah, now I'm the guy that recognizes the references in films that no one else recognizes. I'm like, man, fuck you guys. This is back from this movie that was out when I was a kid. Actually, look, in all fairness, I feel incredibly young, so at the age of 30. The only time I've ever felt like old is whenever I'm watching something or doing something and then someone else ages me. For example, when I was on the boat, when you're on deployment and you hit a port and you're on duty and that's the day you're stuck on the boat. When you leave the port, you have to sign what they call a liberty log. Basically, just like, hey, this is, I'm leaving at this time with this person, blah, 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 and this is what we're doing. Just because you're in a foreign country, they want to make sure they kind of have an idea of what the hell you're doing. But someone, wherever they put it, someone's supposed to be there manning it, like watching over it. My duty, they put it in my supervisor's office, my chief's office. So they were like, hey, look, if you want to get out of this thing, you can come, stay in the lib log watch at this time. I was like, fuck yeah, I do, because it was either that or go clean on the pier. And I was like, I ain't picking up beer cans off the pier. Fuck that. Um, so I went to my chief's office, and then they screened the door. Like, hey, we got the laptop in here, connect to the TV, so we can watch whatever movies you want. Sweet. Put on Final Destination 2 because it was October at the time, and I was going through different horror films, and I said, hey, Final Destination Marathon, right on. Put on, this person comes in, one of our sailors came in to sign out on the little blog, and I kid you not, looks at the TV and goes, Final Destination 2? That's a classic. And he immediately just went, oh, shut up. that when that happens, that's when I go, damn, I feel old. God damn it.
Mhm. I just, I don't like whenever my cousins tell me about, this new musician they're into, and I have no idea who the hell they are, and they give me this look of like, you don't even know. And I'm like, I felt old since I was like 7.
Well, you've always been old at heart since
It
I've
sucks
known
though.
you.
Yeah, I've never understood why what's popular is popular. That's just always been who I am.
Yeah. No, it hits me with like, I get you with the music thing when people are like, what are your certain favorite bands? I'll sit there and be like, oh, Slipknot, Disturbed, Rob Zombie. They're like, oh man, those guys are old. They've been around a while. I'm like, all right, well, not when I was a kid. God damn. I was there when the first album was out. God.
But none of this changes the fact that Joaquin Phoenix was an idiot for doing this, and it could have cost him a career. And the end result was nonsense that I think we're the first people to watch in a long time.
Yeah, I avoided this movie for years, and some weird reason got excited thinking like, I can do this for the show. Let's do it for the show. Instantly great at the moment, the movie in it. That's like about almost half the films I've put on the schedule. Um,
Yeah, that's we go through the ringer here. This is these are movies I told myself I will never watch any of this shit because I have way better things to do. My time is more valuable than this, and now here we are.
time is not as valuable as I thought. So here I am. On that beautiful note, shall we talk about the development of this film?
Why not? I'd love to hear how this came about.
Oh yeah. So the ideal for this film would initially come from Joaquin Phoenix's amazement at the way people believe reality shows were unscripted. That's how it started, apparently. Which, I mean, look, yeah, it's 2023, and I still meet people that are like, "Oh no, it's reality. It's real." I'm like, "No, it's fine. Oh, no, it's not. It's scripted, guys. It is fucking scripted."
Joaquin Phoenix watches an episode of Big Brother and is like, "Oh, I could do that." That's what happens. Yeah, that's usually what happens. Some star watches something that's outside their wheelhouse, and they're immediately like, "Well, I could do that. I'm famous. I'm rich. I have people. Let's do this."
Is that how Michael Jordan ended up being a baseball player?
Yeah. And now Bruce Willis thought he was a rock star. It happens.
Yeah. Look, I will not judge anyone that likes reality TV. There's plenty of reality shows I put on as background noise that entertain me. But it's 2023. Like, please, please, please do not believe that these things are unscripted. Please.
I agree. I think it's all, you know, stupid, pointless nonsense. But I'm old.
Like I said, I got someone put on for like background noise, like Ball Rescue. I get a kick out of that mostly because I just like seeing the guy yell at them in the beginning. It's kind of like, well, I'll sit through like at least the beginning of Kitchen Nightmares just to watch Gordon Ramsay's like fire off on people.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of like Kitchen Nightmares as well.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, I got plenty I'll put on for like a background noise, and that's about it. So that's how this kind of like started getting into his brain. Uh, he would further conceive the idea after becoming fascinated with the show Celebrity Rehab with Dr. True. If anyone remembers that show, I don't think it's on anymore.
Is there any aspect of our lives that could just belong to us? Anything? Is anything sacred anymore? God.
No, because Celebrity Rehab, Dr. True was helping some fucking washed up has-beens every week.
No, no surprise that Joaquin Phoenix would respond to that.
That's what it was. I never watched it, but I saw like like the occasional like advertised episode, and it was just like a fucking like insert at the time washed up celebrity that needed a fucking boost, so they were like, I'll go on this reality show.
Does the winner get a detox or something?
And probably. Now, I want this part you're going to strap in because I don't even know why he even thought for a minute this would be a good idea. He was so enamored with this show apparently that he even originally attempted to execute the stunt by being featured on the show. For those who don't know, I joke about the wash up celebrity thing. Celebrity Rehab, it's called Rehab for a reason. It is celebrities with horrendous substance issues that Dr. True was helping them with.
So was Joaquin gonna fake that, or was he gonna first get a coke habit and then go in?
I don't know.
Jesus. So this all amounts to Joaquin Phoenix wanted to be on a reality show.
So far, yes.
Wow.
It surprises me. Like I said, like, dude, like what I mean, look, luckily he would ditch the ideal, but only when he realized it would be cruel to perform a character amongst people with very real problems. I don't know why that took him a second to come up with. Like, maybe
he still kind of did that though.
Oh yeah, he still kind of did it, but I mean, to sit there and watch again, and I'm sure again it was a fucking reality show, so some of the shit was probably scripted. But if I remember, like the whole thing was like Dr. True was getting celebrities that had horrendous substance issues going on or any other kind of issue going on. Why would you watch that and think, hey, this celebrity that's probably going through something really rough, hence why they have a drug problem or a drinking problem or insert something problem here. I'll act like I have one. That will go down well.
It's psychotic, but we know this. You can't be a celebrity. I separate actor and celebrity. I love a lot of actors. I don't like a lot of celebrities because celebrities are inherently selfish. All they're thinking about is me. How can I advance my career? What can you do for me? How does this make me look good? So no surprise that Joaquin Phoenix is like, oh, all these people struggling with their mental health and their physical health. Fuck them. This is about me.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took him so long to figure that out, but clearly the idea never left his head.
No, and I think someone probably was talking to him like, okay, Joaquin, no, we can't put you on this show with people with actual issues. It's not going to look good.
Well, thankfully, he had a brother-in-law in the biz.
Not the best brother-in-law, but we'll get into that later. He then came up with the idea to retire from acting and pursue a new career. So, like you said, didn't really leave him. The ideal to be on this show, thankfully, left his mind, but this horrendous ideal stayed there.
So basically, he pulled a bender and said, "Fine, I'll make my own reality show with blackjack and hookers."
Yes.
Well, take the blackjack away, and yeah, that's what we got.
Yeah, no, the hookers stayed apparently. So by doing this, he, along with his brother-in-law at the time, and once again, because Casey Affleck and Summer Phoenix, I looked up, no longer married. Uh, been divorced for a while actually. They plan to make a film that, and I quote, this is in quotations. This is from them, supposedly explored celebrity and explored the relationship between the media and the consumers and the celebrities themselves. Did you see anything in that statement in this fucking movie?
No, I saw a belligerent asshole just screaming at everybody who dared enter his stratosphere. Like literally, that's the whole movie. There's no moment of satire or like self exploration. The only media bit is just him being a dick to David Letterman.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I read that and I was like, there was not a single fucking bit. And again, what's crazy, that does sound like a very interesting thing to explore. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I've seen it before. I'm trying to pinpoint the movie. Like, I've definitely seen that done before.
Was it?
Properly.
I was about to say done better.
Yes. Here, keep talking. I'm gonna
Okay.
find it.
While you do that, I'll just keep going. So the first hint of this stunt would be in October 2008. When he would announce his retirement on the, I don't know why he thought this was the guy to start it, but he would announce his retirement. I shit you people not, on the red carpet for his film Two Lovers. For those again who don't know what red carpet means, basically the film's fucking premiere. Uh, for his film Two Lovers, which he would proclaim to be his final performance. So literally at this film's premiere, Joaquin thinks, I am going to steal the spotlight from all my co-stars, director, and everyone else who worked on this film, and announce that I am done with acting.
I found it. So first off, way to steal the spotlight, Joaquin. It's clearly all about you, and it always has been. Glad you were finally aware of that. Uh, a movie that explores the dark side of celebrity and toys with the idea of powerful method acting and how dangerous it can be. 2017, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond.
I've not seen that movie.
Well, it basically just goes into Jim Carrey's method for becoming Andy Kaufman, but it toys with exactly those situations, like the things that Joaquin's trying to do with this. Jim Carrey actually does do in that.
Okay, that's I thought say that's not, I haven't seen that movie, but it sounds okay. That's I've heard that is a really good movie actually from a lot of people.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to watch that, see what a film that explores exactly that is supposed to be. So yeah, now as I kind of handed out earlier with Magnolia, the people who were the studio for that film, Magnolia Pictures, this wouldn't exactly be well received by them because they were trying to publicize Two Lovers. So this quote unquote stunt, I did air quotes, ladies and gentlemen, along with a star who refused to be interviewed while being followed by a documentary crew at all times, was believed to have taken a lot of attention away from James Gray's well-received film. That's right, Two Lovers, critically acclaimed. But because of this, they put all the blame solely on him, which is honestly, yeah. Because the film would end up flopping at the box office.
Yeah. Two Lovers, 82% Rotten Tomato score, consensus. Two Lovers is a complex, intriguing, richly acted romantic drama. And ironically, guess who his co-star is? Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. Magnolia, I'm actually usually I know we've spent many times on here and FILMGAZM and stuff, like kind of bitching about the studios and the sheer incompetency that seems to happen a lot of times. But in this case, I'm with the studio. If I was the one trying to publicize my new movie and my actor without any hint for this happening, did this, I would be fucking pissed.
Yeah. Fuckery knows no bounds. Not always the studios. There's always, idiocy exists in every level of Hollywood. And typically, if it's not one, it's going to be the other.
Yeah, can you imagine like they're getting ready to promote this film. They've dealt with the ego that is Joaquin Phoenix and Grant Paltrow. They're like, all right, look, it's the film's coming out today. We just publicize it and we're good. Well, okay. The reviews are coming in. They're great. This should fucking be a hit at the box office. And then they're just sitting there watching on TV or at the premiere, and all of a sudden, an assistant's tapping one of the executives on the shoulder. Hey, you might want to look at the TV right now. You might want to look at it now, just for them to see. Joaquin Phoenix announces on the red carpet his retirement from acting. Can you imagine being the executive just be like, oh shit.
Well, considering this film just kind of faded away for a while, it was, the last film of Joaquin Phoenix. But other than that, I'd never seen it. I don't know anyone who has.
I honestly never heard of it until now.
I heard of it when I watched that Letterman interview for real back in 2009, I want to say. 2008.
Yeah.
I remember watching that and thinking, this is weird. And then they rolled the clip, and then that was all I ever heard about that movie.
Yeah. I cannot imagine like the executive's just the face of just sadness as he is seeing like his publicity go from the movie to, oh yeah, your actor's retiring and wants to pursue a career in rap.
Unreal. I'm looking up the plot right now. I'm curious. This is 2008, a Brooklyn set romantic drama about a bachelor torn between the family friend his parents wish he would marry and his beautiful but volatile new neighbor. James Gray also directed Ad Astra and the Lost City of Zed. So good filmmaker, just did Armageddon Time. So yeah, there was talent behind this. It was intriguing. It was well received. It had an interesting story. And Joaquin took that away from everybody because this is about him. If you're not looking at him, then you're not looking at anything.
Oh, God. So from there, the next 2 years, the filming of the mockumentary would commence with only a few people in on the joke. So, like Casey Affleck, the people that are playing his friends were probably, they were in on it because for those who are wanting a certain scene involving defecation, it's not actual shit. It was fake.
Even Daniel Day-Lewis isn't that method.
Yeah, that was fake. Not an actual thing. And then at least two confirmed celebrities and Ben Stiller in a fucking good old Diddy.
Wonder if that dude he tackled in the club was in on it.
I don't think that felt real. That one was the one I was like, I don't think that guy was in on it. I remember hearing about that, like before the documentary came out, and hearing about that, and like when he flicked off, because I remember, and I was like, Joaquin Phoenix is trying to do a rap, and flicks off crowd, and then it assaults the crowd. I remember seeing that on the news.
I wish this was real. I wish this wasn't an act. I wish he had gone off the deep end. But then, we wouldn't have gotten his performance in The Master. We wouldn't have gotten his Joker. So, I mean, trade-off.
Yeah. I guess. But yeah, only a few people. And for everyone else, as we kind of talked about at the beginning, it was a period marked by questions of Phoenix' potential mental breakdown and possible complete disappearance from the public eye. Again, like we were saying, like people knew about his family history. We knew what happened to River Phoenix. So for him, it's like, haha, I'm doing this funny joke. It's art, and I can't wait for people to see my art. Everyone else is going, are we about to lose Joaquin Phoenix? The Phoenix, it's the Phoenix bloodline dying here.
I'm going to try this. For the next couple years, I'm going to just be an insufferable prick to everybody. I'm going to ignore my family. I'm going to abuse my friends. I'm going to declare I am now the greatest painter who ever lived. And if you don't like my work, fuck you. I'm going to do that for 2 years. And then I'm going to reveal, no, it was a gag. I'm still the same old me. I promise. How many of you would still be there?
I would, I would be done.
Exactly. Yeah. It's fucking crazy that he thought like, oh, this will work out. Like only crazy people would think, oh, I can do this for 2 years and just walk out of it with zero collateral damage to my life.
Yeah, right. Not doing going to fucking events to do terrible rapping to really commit to the part. Like, oh no, it'll be fine.
This is so insane. Ugh.
You were in Gladiator, Joaquin. Upon the film's release, however, when they finally fucking revealed it was a mockumentary, yeah, they revealed it was one big act and it was actually a mockumentary. Well, look, because of this, unsurprisingly, as we talked about, the film would come and go without much fanfare from the public, right? Public pretty much went, "Holy shit, dude! We thought we were like fucking watching you spiral out of control. Fuck you." You know what I mean? Like, and typical public reaction, which I'm actually with. Usually, I get annoyed with the public outcry on like social media, but people in general. But this one, I'm kind of with. I get it. Like, dude, we just thought we'd lose you on a fucking mental breakdown, and it was all a fucking big joke. Yeah, you can fuck right off.
I did like when he went back on Letterman as himself. He'd shaved and he was like, I'm sorry about last time, Dave. And Dave was like, hey, you know what? Celebrity, like Hollywood's weird. And they had a bit of a like, it's okay, like no hard feelings conversation, which was kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Oh yeah. Especially after like the initial interview, which was just awkward to watch because it's the one of the few, if only times I remember watching like good old Dave, like try not to actually lose his cool. Like usually he was really good about like even if he was probably not liking the guests, like laughing and making jokes and keeping the air light. You could tell he was struggling on that interview. It was just like what because like again he was being so combative and like playing just combating everything David was asking. I was like, oh my god, this is so fucking awkward. I know, and obviously it had the immortal send off line of, I wish Joaquin, sorry, but I wish Joaquin was here today.
Yeah, sorry you couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah, sorry you can't be here tonight. Probably the best fucking like last thing he could have said, honestly, on that interview.
Yeah, Dave, Letterman saved it. You know, he would have been a great person to tell, like, hey, just so you know, I'm not really being an asshole. I'm doing this act. If you could just roll with it, great. But no.
Yeah, he would have, because like he probably would have been like, oh yeah, easy enough. I can roll with that.
Yeah, kind of funny.
No. Yeah. Um, and then like we mentioned earlier, critics would also be pretty dismissive of me considering it a failed attempt at performance art. I referenced that because Josh was looking up somewhere at some point. It was either Joaquin Phoenix or Casey Affleck or both. Literally tried to refer to this as performance art.
Yeah, that's usually the like last desperate attempt to capture something when everyone's not on board. They're like, "Oh, it's performance art. You just don't get it." Like that's just sad. Like,
Yeah.
no, we were there. We saw it. We saw it unfold in real time, and we watched your shitty documentary. Doesn't mean we are on board with this. We still don't understand why you chose to do this. That doesn't mean we're stupid.
Yeah. We're also looking at you, Shia LaBeouf, Mister, for quite a while. Oh, it's all performance art. No, you had a mental breakdown, dude.
Yep. They always try to save it with it's an act, but most of the time it's just a public meltdown.
You wore a Shia, my friend, and I say this as someone who adored Even Stevens growing up, was rooting for you when you made the switch to your quote unquote adult career. But I'm sorry, like you can try to save yourself with the performance art thing back in the day, but you wore a bag over your head that said "I'm not famous anymore." That was a cry for help, and we know it.
Yeah, and you assaulted your girlfriend. So, well,
yeah, treat me a goth right, you son of a bitch. Are they even still together? I don't even know. I know that she had a kid with him.
I know Joaquin and Rooney Mara are together, and that has got to be a weird ass relationship.
That was a strange relationship if there
I think
ever
they
was
got.
one.
I think they got kids.
Oh my god.
What are those kids named? Let's find out.
Is it something like what Elon Musk named his fucking kid?
I don't think they named him after. I don't think they named their kids after an equation, but let's find out.
We're going to find out, and I'm also going to look up. Sorry, because I'm looking up the Shia LaBeouf thing. So I was like, are him and Mia Goth together? I know they've been on and off, but it has
Oh,
on his Wikipedia. Wait for this. It's American actor, performance artist. He went all in. It's like, no, I'm also a performance artist. Like, god damn it, dude. Yeah, him and Mia Goth are so apparently together.
damn, she must have low standards. No offense, being a goth. I feel really bad. Joaquin and Rooney's, they have a son named River.
Oh, you know
That's
what?
very touching, and I'm very proud of that. Okay, never mind. Maybe she is exactly what he needed.
Well, that okay, that okay. God damn it. That is, yeah, that's very touching.
We dug ourselves into that hole. Just accept it.
Yeah, we did. So you know what? Good thing I'm on the positive side to all of this on my history. Thank God. I'll get us out a little bit here. On the positive side to this, all as far as like the fallout to this fucking film and everything afterwards. Positively speaking, Phoenix has since moved on and retained his status as one of the greatest actors working today. So thankfully, for acting wise, don't know how his onset behavior is to this day. Um, he did work. He dug himself out of this hole he created, and reclaimed his status as one the go to, a surefire bet for an actor to give you a committed performance with movies like Joker, Her, The Master. I'm sure I'm forgetting some off the top of my head right now, but there's plenty he's done since then.
He had a meltdown on the set of Joker, so I don't think his on-set behavior has changed much. But at least he's not, at least he's shaving again.
Yeah. Now, if you could just stop doing the whole weight thing, it's not good for you as you get older. Like, don't let the actors make you think losing and gaining weight on and off is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Jack Nicholson had no problem giving us a chubby Joker, and he was great. So like, you don't have to be rail thin to be the Joker.
Yeah,
But
it's fine. Uh, but kind of getting back on the negative, we're going to go and briefly touch on this topic. I've mentioned Casey Affleck a bit and alluded to something that, for those who don't know, has to do with him being apparently a horrendous piece of shit, because this film would get further tarnished more than it already was. When allegations of sexual harassment from director Casey Affleck were made public by numerous females involved in the film.
yeah, I remember hearing about that and not being all that surprised. There's a vibe. The Afflecks do not give off a very positive vibe.
They do not, which always, as I've gotten over, has actually made the friendship that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon share kind of interesting, because Matt Damon seems like the better of the two.
Well, when the better of the two is the guy who's like, I haven't said a gay slur in like 3 years. I mean, better is kind of relative here.
Yep. I should have flipped the negative and the positive. God damn it. And as for the film itself, if you probably haven't guessed off how this has been treated, it's become kind of an oddity in its own right. It's, of all the things Joaquin Phoenix has on his career, it is the black sheep. It is the what the fuck in his filmography.
Yeah, and he was in a Shyamalan movie.
That he was.
Two of them actually.
Oh, he was in Signs. What else was he in? I'm forgetting.
Village.
That's right. He was in The Village. I forgot. Well, he was still in like what people consider to be the good ones. You know what I mean?
True.
Shyamalan, get your shit together for the love of God. Oh, and that's it on Development Hill. That's all I have. There wasn't a whole lot. It being a mockumentary, mostly kind of surrounding the idea for this and the public's reaction and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I think you did a great job. I don't think any of us will ever truly know why the hell he did this.
No, that's a mine I don't get into. And while I'm quite happy to hear what he named his child. I still stand by the him and Ray Myers seem like an Not a pair I want to be around. Just because that just seems like an awkward, weird relationship.
Commodus and Lisbeth Salander got married and they have a child. That's weird.
Yeah, and Rooney Mara, I'm gonna say right now, she kind of gives off not nice. She gives off bitch vibes. She gives off bitch vibes to me. I just don't think she's a nice person.
Well, maybe they're just, I would hate to be the waiter at their table.
Oh God. A lot of this with Rooney Mara is also kind of rooted in her. And look, I'm not defending Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. It is a horrendous piece of shit film. But her reaction to that, like, come on, you could have at least risen above the movie, Rooney. Come on.
Well, hard to stand by shit like that. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They're weird.
They're weird. And you know what? At least they're honoring Joaquin's brother. So I'll give them that much. Because for those who don't know, they were before his OD that him, River, and Joaquin were apparently like very, very close. Probably the closest amongst. There's like five. There were five Phoenix children, I believe. Those two, the sisters, somewhere, I think two more brothers, that didn't get into the business. So those two were especially close, which is why it stuck with him for so long when River died.
True.
So with that, we're done talking about this aspect of the film, thank God, and let's move on to the awards. All right, so starting out first with the Zack Snyder, the worst scene. What all the many moments in this film did you pick?
It had to be the moment where JP performs his rap for the first time. And it was not the scene at the the big scene at the club at the end, but towards the beginning when he's in like this littler club, and he's like, beats too big, like we got to change the beat, like he starts rapping like mumbling to himself, and then he's like, we got to change that, it's too loud. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? This whole time I'm thinking like, this is the best you can do. This is JP, the rapper extraordinaire. You fucking Nimrod. Are you kidding me?
JP.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. I was so like, you're such an entitled bitch to be like, hey, we got to change the levels in here, man. Like, it's not for my rap. Like in the middle of the beat, he's like, stop, we got to change this. And then he just leaves. They're like, he's like, they just don't get it. Like, we're going to find someone who gets it. Like, if I ever met you, I'd punch you in the face.
Oh, dude, his whole thing about it was like, they had preconceived notions of me. I'm like, no, you sucked. And then during it, where I was asking to change the beat, you don't do that when you're rapping or doing any kind of music. Like, Jesus Christ.
Just blatantly, if unprofessional seems to be like the best word to describe this guy.
Oh yeah, incredibly. Which it's funny you use that word. That's how Casey Affleck tried to defend himself during the allegations, because I was reading up on it. He was like, "Hey, look, we had an unprofessional set when I didn't hope keep professional, and I would have done it differently." I'm like, "That's where you're picking for sexual harassment charges?" Yeah, it was a little unprofessional on set.
But it's your set.
Your set, and that just makes you sound like you're guilty. You fuck.
Yeah. If there had been more restrictions, I wouldn't have done this. Is basically what you're saying. Is like, I had opportunity to be a creep and I took it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, hey, so you're being charged for sexual harassment. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It was unprofessional on set. I mean, and then he stopped there. He did not elaborate further. Okay, yeah, you fucking did it, dude.
That's just the kind of environment I foster on my sets. If it had been a professional set, this wouldn't have happened. Like, you were the director. There's no way to answer that without sounding like the bad guy, because you are.
What was it? Was it Jim Norton that talked about the whole, like, back when the whole Sandusky thing was happening, and he was like, if you pause or whatever?
Yeah. Like, just say no. Do you start your answer with well, then you're guilty. It's like, yeah, that's good. It's a good rule of thumb. Innocent people aren't going to try to explain their way out of shit. They're just going to be like, no.
Yeah. Case in point. Are you denying the sexual harassment charges here, Casey Affleck? I mean, well, it was unprofessional. Okay, yep, he did it.
That is a solid rule of thumb.
Yeah, if you didn't do it, it would have been quick. Like, fuck no, dude. I would never like. Okay, yeah, he didn't do it. That was quick.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of how it went with all of them. It's like the only I think like what's the guy? I forget his name. Talking Dead.
Oh, Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick. Yeah, he went like, no, I didn't do that, and he didn't. Like they
He
were,
didn't.
yeah, the girlfriend was lying. Everyone else, like Kevin Spacey, tried to be like, well, I'm a closeted gay man, and now I'm out of the closet. It's like that wasn't the question, Kev.
Wasn't the question there, Kev Dog? Come on, come on.
So that's how I'm going to treat it from now on. It's like when these questions come out, if the accused gives us a fucking 3-page answer, I'm going to go with guilty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember the Chris Hardwick one. I remember a lot of people were like, oh man, I can't watch like that. And I was like, what? And my rule of thumb generally is like, on either end of the spectrum, if it's just one person saying it, I'm a little trepidation. I'm like, okay, well, wait, let's investigate this because it's just one person. Now, in the case of like, let's say Danny Masterson, who isn't on that 90s show because 5 fucking women came up saying he raped, not harassment, assault, rape. Then I'm almost gonna be like, he did that shit. There's no way they all just had a collective meeting and went, let's take this one down.
That's how I feel about Cosby. It's like really 60 plus women are conspiring against you.
Yeah, like really, Cosby. All right, yeah, yeah. I remember with Chris Hardwick one a lot, and then sure enough, they did an investigation. And also, the big thing was it was his ex. So I'm like, okay, look, hold on, look, his ex. He was. I think he had just gotten remarried to a new lady. I'm like, this isn't. And sure enough, they did an investigation, and up, yeah, she was lying. So I was like, oh yeah, look at that. And like you said, he was quick to be like, no, I didn't fucking know.
Yeah. Good rule of thumb. Just
Yeah.
Innocent people don't have to convince you that they're innocent.
No,
They'll just
because
own
they're
up to it.
innocent.
Yeah.
But the guilty, it's like they do everything else. Like you said, like Kevin Spacey. Well, I'm gay. That's not what we're asking you, Kev.
Neat. So why'd you touch these kids?
I am attracted to the same sex. Okay, no, Kev, the kids.
It's great that you're finding yourself right now, but we got things to figure out, buddy.
And we're not talking about your sexuality, so don't you dare mention that again.
Okay.
Uh,
What was your Zack Snyder?
Mine. So I, for the longest time, had just the entirety of the DC scene, which I just think is some of his most obnoxious in the movie.
Yeah.
And then we got to the end, and I watched apparently a shoring because I looked it up, and this thing went on like 3 fucking minutes longer. They shoring it, but the longest fucking ending of a man walking in water, trying this to be some kind of metaphor that I just did not care for at that point. And all I could think, because again, as we established, I was watching this Sunday before the new episode of The Last of Us. At that point, it was 9 o'clock. That episode was on fucking HBO Max. And all I could think was like, hurry up. I'm done with this movie. You're trying this ending out. And I really just want to go to something I know is going to be better. Spoiler, Last of Us episode 2 was 10 times better. And yeah, dude, this ending goes on forever. I swear to God, the music they picked was stock and just kept repeating on loop.
It's a metaphor. JP is being washed away by the rivers of Panama, and in his place, like a phoenix from the ashes, Joaquin lives again. I love that they got the fucking Affleck dad to stand in for his dad.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you can't get the real. Well, actually, I think Phoenix's parents aren't alive, are they?
I don't know.
Were they alive at the time of this film?
Let's find out. Joaquin Phoenix dad.
But yeah, while you're looking that up, yeah, no, the whole ending with this, especially because like they book, it's supposed to be a bookend. We see at the beginning was supposed to be this like happy memory that was recorded, which I found out was a fucking made for the film thing only. Also, and yeah, he goes back into this, with his dad for a very, or Casey Affleck's dad for a very awkward fucking scene, and then just gets in the water and just kind of walks through it. And I'm not gonna lie, the whole time everything was like, you're telling me there wasn't anything that tried to bite you in that water? I was actually the whole time during the scene, just sitting there in my head going, please, can like an alligator or a snake or anything, just anything come up and make this scene exciting? Because I stopped walking through the damn water.
His father's name is John Bottom. He had a drinking problem. His parents joined the Children of God cult, which is what Joaquin and the rest of his siblings were raised in. When they left the cult, they changed their name to Phoenix, as in like we are reborn. I can't find any information on whether or not he's alive, but I'm gonna assume yes, and just wanted nothing to do with this.
Probably. But yeah, I was tossing up between that or the DC scene because I feel like the DC scene is like Joaquin at his most absolute obnoxious in the entire film. Um,
Yeah, for me, it's like any scene where he's rapping, because at that moment, I'm like, so not only did you risk your career, you're not even any good at this thing you told everybody you were leaving acting for. You'd think if you were going to do this, you would at least try to be good at rapping. You would try to, hide the fact that you don't know what the fuck you're doing, so you could convince the world that you were actually doing this.
yeah, no, instead you're like, I'm pursuing a career in rap. So we're thinking, oh, you must do that on the side. We haven't heard it. And it was like, no, 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 this is bad. Please stop.
Yeah, unreal, man.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, it was a toss up. Like you have the like, one where I just think it's like peak, like God, I can't stand him anymore, but also just a scene that just wouldn't end and gets all metaphorical on you. And at this point, I'm tapped out. I don't care. I just want the movie to be over.
I kept wanting Anthony. I think his name was Anthony, the assistant.
Yeah, oh yeah, Anthony.
I wanted him to take a swing so many times. Like, just knock him on his ass. He's not going to do shit. He's all talk. He's a blustering baby boy. Knock his ass out.
I've never understood when, and apparently this is just a thing for celebrities to have like their friends hang out with them and I guess like put them in places so they can like, give back to being their friend and helping them out or whatever. Because yeah, if I was in a situation this, I'd have zero issues punching my famous friend. I'd be like, you're not obnoxious asshole. Fuck you, bro.
I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how long I've known you. I don't care if you're blood. Nobody talks to me like that.
Yeah. Dude, this is kind of reversed. I read this story apparently, thinking of this and punching when they're being obnoxious. Uh Back in the day when, he wasn't having the issues he has now, Bam Margera, apparently someone was talking about like they were working at like working at a hot topic or something, and there was like one of these like interesting encounters with celebrities people have had, right? And the guy said he was working there one day and Bam came in with like his entourage of friends and stuff. And surprisingly enough, Bam went to the back to go look at something real quick, and one of his entourage friends came up and started being like, "Hey, you know who that is, right? Like we're going to get like a discount stuff, right? Or like you gotta get people out of the store. Like this is Bam Margera, like trying to be obnoxious and like a complete dick." Not Bam, one of his entourage people. And apparently the guy said out of nowhere, as this guy's getting more and more rude and aggressive and trying to get customers out and stuff like that, apparently out of nowhere, he gets knocked the fuck out. And guess who did it? Bam Margera knocked his ass out and was like, "Hey, sorry about my friend. Does anyone want an autograph?"
Damn. That's nice. I'm glad he was using his powers for good.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Back when, he wasn't having the issues he is now.
Speaking of, did you see he went on Steve-O's podcast 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, he's been on there now a couple of times to talk through his stuff.
Seems to be doing well. Seems to be in a good place right now. His conservatorship is over. So maybe, I'm not saying he'll get, back with Jackass, but I'm just glad he's not going to kill himself.
Yeah, I think that the time with that has ceased. I don't think he has any intentions to get back with Jackass. He's not going to be involved with the show that they're doing. I know they announced a new show, and I don't think he's involved with that at all. I think he is just putting that behind him.
It's a shame. I was looking forward to more Rocky.
I know. Hey, look, I hate it. He was one of my more favorite people in there. Like him and like Knoxville and stuff are always one of my favorites. But at this point, I just want the guy to be fucking doing good and be
Yeah.
better and moving on with his life.
I just, I kept worrying they were going to find him like dead in a field somewhere. So as long as he's working towards, being healthy, all the better for him.
Exactly. And especially if, I mean, hearing stories like that where apparently like he doesn't have any that much of an ego, he's willing to punch out his own entourage if they're being dicks and then be like, hey, now that's taken care of. Anyone here want an autograph? Well,
Yeah.
oh, I'm
Gotta
here.
keep your people in check.
Yeah. So yeah, just like I said, if I that and I just saw that when you mentioned like why wouldn't Anthony punch him, because I would have done. I'm all about that. Like, it doesn't matter if you're the celebrity or if you're the entourage friend that hangs out with celebrity. Like, don't be a dick to people.
No, I think more celebrities should get knocked the fuck out so it'll bring them down to earth and remind them that actions have consequences.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So yeah, that's the long drawn out ending, but I went with because I was so fucking checked out at this point and wanted to just watch The Last of Us. So now for the Ed Wood, the worst line, and dear God, could you pick anything in this movie?
Joaquin's crazy stream of consciousness dialogue that he just keeps spurting out like a fucking fountain through this whole damn movie. I didn't want to write any of that shit down because it's just ramblings of an insane mind. So I went with a little moment where he is revealed to be kind of a little bitch. It's when he's going to go talk to Diddy about producing his album, and you just hear him say, "I'm not gonna fucking freestyle, dude. That's why I wanted the iPod." I was laughing. I was like, "You're not real. Nothing about you is real."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember I was like, I don't think Diddy in the hotel room is going to ask you to fucking freestyle during this meeting, dude. That's not how this shit works.
Diddy had a hell of a 2010. Because there was this, and then there was Get Him to the Greek. He was just mind fucking everybody that year.
He really was. I was glad. I was really glad to read that Diddy was in on this because I was like, dude, I've heard some stories about Diddy. You do not want to fuck with that man.
No, you make sure he's in on the joke, or Joaquin would have gotten shot.
Yeah. Like, look, the hell of a fucking rapper and producer, but don't fuck with Diddy. That dude has a record.
Well, I love the moment where he's like, "Is this all just a big fucking joke to you? You think you can rap?" Joaquin's like, "No," like he doesn't really know what to say. It's like, "Yeah, Diddy's calling you out."
Yeah. You don't want to fuck with that guy. I'm telling you.
Oh, what'd you have?
You don't fuck with Puff Daddy. Mine, because I was like, I can't just write down this fucking ramblings of a fucking madman here. But mine actually is from the DC scene, surprisingly or not. When he gets all pissy because they went to the inauguration without him. And I guess it was an inauguration party because I guess that's the thing for celebrities to go to. I will never understand these things that famous people do. And there was a quick line that made both me and Josh kind of go, did he just say what I think he said? And it's when they're recording him out in the hallway, but they're still in the room. They're recording him. And at one point, he says, in regards to an inauguration party, it's a fucking movie premiere with less pussy.
My God.
That line hurts so much to hear.
I nearly went with a similar line. There was when he's at the club, he's checking out I think it's Live or Live, whatever it is, the Miami club.
Yeah.
And his first question is, "How's the pussy?" Like, why do you want everyone to hate you?
Yeah, like
Yeah, he's an obnoxious. He drops the N word at one point. Like he really goes all out for douchebag of the year.
oh, he does. Oh yeah. Yeah, he doesn't. I remember we said I had him. I was like, what? No, he didn't.
You know what I almost went with because it was so ridiculously obnoxious? Do the snow angel. Do the fucking snow angel. Do the snow angel. Like repeated like 8 times.
Oh god, he wanted. There was a sequence. There was a moment where he like the way he was talking. Josh even went like, "Is he fucking drunk right now?" Because everything coming out of him was just like slurred. Like, "How going to do this?" What the fuck, Joaquin? Did you just say? Like,
I had this was subtitles were kind of crucial for this movie because he speaks so fast, and he says nothing that just to even understand what the fuck he's talking about, you got to read it.
Yeah. Luckily, and that's the thing. Like, luckily, what I just said with the not the rambling, but the fucking movie premiere line, that was subtitled. So not only did I hear it, I saw it displayed across the screen and went, "There's no fucking way he he just said that." Like, you're trying to tell me that Joaquin Phoenix is going to movie premieres looking for pussy? Sure. Um,
I wonder if Rooney's watched this. Like just to know that that exists. JP exists inside her husband somewhere. She's got to
JP
live. She got to deal with that.
JP's been inside her.
Oh God.
You think he
Ugh.
asked how her pussy was? Also,
Oh my God. I hope. What if she's like more attracted to that side of him?
oh god,
What if they role play and like he's
he's
JP and
raps.
he
He
raps for
raps
her.
it dead for her. He's
He
like dirty
seduces
talking.
her with his dope flow.
Yeah, it's like dirty talking, but it's all rap.
Oh my
Get
God.
that pussy and lick it, and I'm even worse at it. That's why I don't do it. But
You know what? You're not. I think he's worse. At least you're aware that you're bad at it.
yeah, I know that I'm not. Look, I know I suck at singing. Do I do it to some of my songs that I like? Yeah, absolutely. If I'm feeling myself that day, yeah. But do I know I'm bad? Also, yes. I'm not famous for singing for a reason. Don't have that
See,
talent.
I think everybody needs at least one friend. I think I brought this up before because this is good. This is good advice for life. You need at least one friend who's going to shoot down your dreams. You need at least one friend who's going to be realistic with you and say, "Hey, buddy, you suck at this. You, try something else." Joaquin Phoenix does not have that friend. He is surrounded by yes men, and this is what happens.
Well, that's what they do with their entourage friends. They surround them with yes men because guess what? They are usually working for them in some capacity and giving them money. And they don't, those friends don't want to fucking lose their cash flow.
Yeah, real friends typically aren't on the payroll. But yeah, I do think that everybody needs somebody. You know, if you suck at something, you need at least one person in your life to tell you, like, be real and be like, "Hey, man, don't quit your day job."
Rooney's not doing that. She wants herself some JP dope, slinging it her way,
Oh,
freestyling that shit.
the fact that he's breeding just makes me uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was that was my line. Um, the Steven Skull, I have a very good feeling. I'm going to go on and say on a hunch we have the same person. But the worst performance. Tell me I'm wrong. Who'd you put?
I think Ben Stiller could have tried harder. No, Joaquin Phoenix. Who else
Yeah.
could possibly get this? This dude is. I think I screamed "shut the fuck up" at least 3 times when I was watching. It's like, just shut up, dude. What? How can somebody say so much and say so little at the same time? It's miraculous. This guy lives in his own head, and the whole movie, I just wanted him to get hit by a fucking bus. So yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, Jesus, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I wasn't even halfway through the movie, and this was a first for being on the bed. Not even halfway through, I wrote down my first award, and that was Joaquin motherfucking. That was JP, I should say, JP, because I was like, there is no one, possibly no one in this film that's going to have a surprise worse performance than fucking JP here. Because oh my god, I was like, yeah, I'm like, you're obnoxious. You won't shut the fuck up. You're berating everyone. You're yelling half the time. You are the worst human being I'm having to spend almost 2 hours with.
Yeah, 100%. I echo that. It's insane. He's obnoxious. He's unlikable as hell. And I just can't believe he was like, as soon as this is over, like, I'm gonna give Paul Thomas Anderson a call and I'm gonna be right back on track. Like, you are so fucking lucky that anybody was willing to give you the time of day after this fucking fiasco.
Yeah, because your shit almost derailed. Yeah, I had a feeling we were gonna have the same fucking one on that because like literally there is no one else. Like, who you gonna put Casey Affleck? Like, he's barely in the goddamn thing. And
Not a great
the
choice.
guy who's just Yeah, the guy who just shows his dick the whole movie. No, this is Joaquin. This is one. It's like you were talking about earlier. It's about him. This is all about him. This is his movie, his story, his shit. Yeah, you're 100%. You're the worst thing about it, Joaquin Phoenix. I can't believe I'm saying that because you've usually have consistently been one of the best things about a movie, except this one.
I agree. And weirdly, most people don't. The letterboxed on this may surprise you.
I have heard there are people that defend him in this. I'm like, no.
No.
Oh, yeah, I'm not looking forward to these Letterboxd reviews because of that. Now for the Michael Bay, the worst filmmaking decision. What did you come up with?
Well, I think the very idea of putting your career on the line for a dumbass passion project that nobody saw, probably not the best move you could have made.
Yeah, I
So,
put the same thing.
yeah, just the fact that this thing exists at all, like this is all one big ass bad decision.
Yeah, look, I'll reiterate what we talked about earlier. Like, let people in on the joke, man. Like, this would have been so much better if like people knew what the hell you were doing and you had honed in what you wanted to talk about, and you would have had a legitimately awesome documentary on your hands.
Yeah,
But you
like
chose not to.
I think about like Sacha Baron Cohen doing Borat. Like that was a huge hit. People thought it was hilarious. He was up for Oscars. Not once did anybody say like, "Wow, Sacha Baron Cohen's a prick," because they realized it wasn't. It was fake. It was a joke.
It was fake, and he was actually playing a completely different character, like a legit character.
Yeah, sure, it was method, and not a lot of people weren't in on the joke, and those were really funny moments. But just if Borat had been like just a complete asshole the whole time, I feel like it wouldn't have worked out.
No,
This is Joaquin Phoenix's asshole Borat.
yeah, and another difference is too, and to kind of put, because I know we mentioned Jackasses and Borat, and obviously the big hit show on True TV with Practical Jokers. You might be wrong. Well, what about those shows, right? Where they make all these jokes and they play things on unsuspecting people, and people don't know, and they're not in on it. This is the difference. Once the camera stops rolling on these things, they tell those people that, hey, you just got done doing a TV show, and this is what's going on. They do immediately tell these people what's happening. There's been so many, or if like they're filming somewhere and they destroy something, they pay to get that thing repaired. That's the difference. They're not, like you said, they're not assholes. I guess they're doing a prank and they're pulling it on unsuspecting people. But the moment the prank's over, then the bit's over. They told people, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we were doing. Hey, hey, if something's busted, we'll fix it. In Practical Jokers, when they do things at food places all the time, they make sure that at least the workers who work there know what's going on, but not the customers. And, sometimes they'll make sure to actually get food for the crew. Like, they'll do things to make sure, like, hey, it's all fun and games. We're not trying to, piss anyone off here. I'm sure Sacha Baron Cohen did make sure to do stuff to let people afterwards so they're on the joke and stuff. But that's the difference. They're not assholes. They're letting people know what's up at least immediately afterwards.
It's not about them. It's about the joke. In this case, Joaquin was the joke, and only he was in on it. It was a private joke for him that he lived for 2 years, and to hell with the consequences.
So that's the difference. For those who are wondering why we can sit there and make things like Jackass and Borat and fucking and Practical Jokers 2 successes and this bomb. You gotta let people know you're in on the joke, and you cannot. That probably down to 2 rules you should follow. Let people know at some point you're there, and it's a joke. Not 2 years later, immediately after the camera stopped rolling, and don't be an asshole. And then people are usually cool with it.
Yeah, that's good advice for life.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of was thinking like we might have the same thing on here because it's just like it's what other like worst filmmaking decision can you come up with in this like movie's case. But I decided I was like, let's play safe. Let's see what Connor has. And yeah, same.
Never be such an asshole to somebody that they want to shit on your face.
Yeah.
Seriously. I can honestly say I've never pissed anybody off that hard in my life. I don't know what I could do to get to that point.
Dude, I don't know. I know we've, obviously we've had our disagreements on movies and stuff, but I don't think I've ever been spoiled. I was like, you know what, Connor? You wait till you're asleep. I want to shit on your face. I've never been there.
That is an end of the friendship moment. Like, there's no talking your way out of that one. If I don't kill you, I will never speak to you again. I know it's fake in the movie, but like just the fact that oh man, it's
Yeah,
such a weird rabbit hole.
so weird. Um, God, let's try to be positive now and do our silver lining. What is a gonna be so difficult. What's a positive you took from this film?
I just went with the fact that it wasn't real. If this had really happened, if Joaquin Phoenix had really gone off the deep end, I wonder where we would be today with him. Would he be homeless under a bridge in LA? Like I feel like he'd look exactly like that, but without the $1,000 suit.
Yeah,
So thankfully it was a joke and we could all move past it.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Luckily, this wasn't him actually off deep end. He's fine. Joaquin Phoenix level's fine because even saying Joaquin Phoenix is a different saying than most human beings. Um, and yeah, he like I said, he got that second win we talked about, and he was able to have gone to have a successful actual fucking movie career afterwards, like he was already experiencing before he decided to fucking do this bullshit.
Indeed. I'm interested with what you have because I feel like you hated this more than I did.
I fucking despise this goddamn thing, and I could not wait for it to be over. For me, and I actually put this down after I found out he was in on it. I was already laughing at the scenes with Diddy, so I was like, okay, if he's not in on this shit's fucking solid. Then I found out he was in on it, and it just made it better. So my silver lining is just fucking Diddy, who provides the only fucking laughs in this entire film. Like he was the only one that saw what was the task at hand and was like, I will make my parts gold, and he delivered. Between this and Game to the Greek, Diddy showed that like I know I just showed like you don't fuck with him, and I stand by that. Don't fuck with the man. But he showed that he knows comedy. Like he knows how to make he knows how to be funny with his style of humor, and he is fucking gold in the few like I think like two scenes he has. He's great.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Diddy's having fun here. And he is the one guy to tell Joaquin, like, no, I'm not, I don't want anything to do with this. Get out of here.
Yeah. I do like when he approaches the subject of like pay in the hotel room. And Phoenix like, pay. He's like, yeah, you gotta pay me, motherfucker. Like, you gotta pay Diddy.
I love when he was talking to Casey Affleck. He's like, what's that movie you did? He's like, oh, Jesse James. Like, no, that one was whack. The other one, the hot one. He's like, Gone Baby Gone. It's like, oh yeah, that one. That was dope. Such a weird.
He's basically just berating them. He's like, I want to fuck with both of you.
Yeah. It's not like you can tell me to stop. So everyone's supposed to think this is real. What are you gonna do? You need me. I'm the selling point here, motherfucker.
I was laughing so hard when he was at the recording studio, and Diddy's like, no, play the next one. That one's bad. Don't do that one.
I love when Joaquin stands up after being defeated and he's like, can I get my CD back? And Diddy's like, he'll give it to you over there. Like, come on. Diddy's time's valuable and you're wasting it.
Oh, God. I mean, look, and yeah, I'm glad I watched Get Him to the Greek before I ever bothered with this one, because Diddy's like even funnier than that, but he makes his two scenes really good in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I'm so glad I never have to watch this again.
Oh yeah, thank God. On that note, now that we had a nice good laugh about good old P Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever he wants to call himself nowadays.
Has he ever tried Puff Diddy?
Ooh, that's a good one. I hope he doesn't listen to this, because I am slightly like, I both respect and am terrified of that man.
We have said nothing negative about Diddy he's been the only person we've said nothing bad about this whole time. We're fine.
Okay. Yeah, we should be fine. He was great.
I'm more worried about Rooney Mara coming and fucking us up, honestly.
She sleptwalked through a Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll be fine.
So did the audience.
True. Kate's more talented. I said. Now let's go on to what's in the box.
What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
Surprisingly, a lot of love. A lot of people were like, "This is brilliant. This is Joaquin's greatest performance. Fight me."
Do they
3.1
sniff
out of
their
5.
Do they sniff their own farts?
Yes, they do.
Also, okay, that explains it.
Constantly.
Dude, I guarantee you, the people behind this shit are sitting there in their fucking flannel with their hipster beards, going, "This is actually art. You guys just don't get it."
Ugh, don't ever do that again. That was
You
uncomfortable
like
for me.
that? You like that impression?
It made me very uncomfortable.
Was it because it was like an legitimately good impression of those people?
Ugh. I didn't like that voice. You sounded like the fat fish who ate the pickles in SpongeBob.
I was going to I like it.
Oh, okay. Here's 5 reviews of I'm Still Here that I hope can make you laugh.
You got a hard job with climbing off of that fucking SpongeBob reference.
This one's from Ryan. My mom came downstairs to see what I was watching right as Joaquin inserts a prostitute's nipple into his nostril. She just turned around and went right back upstairs without saying a word. 3.5 stars.
You know what? Hey, that's a cool mom. Instead of I look as someone who had was raised Catholic, which means I know how my mom would react to. Oh, what the hell are you watching? Blah blah blah. I respect that. Like, oh, you know what? I will be back, son. Watch whatever weird porn you're watching. I will wait.
That's probably the kind of parent I'll be. If I ever walk into my kids watching porn, I'm just going to walk away and just not address it.
Yep. Hey, look. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So next one's from Barry. This is Joaquin's Joker audition. And this was just, they liked it. No stars, just a like.
One of like Todd Phillips did watch it was like, yeah, this is the guy we need. This is who we need.
He's having no luck getting anybody. He stumbles onto this horse shit on Hulu, and all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute. It's like he looks like Galifianakis in The Hangover, but he's not as funny. This will work. This next one's from Sam Williams. When Joaquin Phoenix visited Late Night with David Letterman in 2009, right in the middle of his elaborate retirement hoax, Letterman famously mocked Phoenix's long, itchy beard. 12 years later, Letterman is the one who's retired. He now wears a beard that's much longer than the one Joaquin was sporting. Phoenix continued acting and has an Oscar for shooting a talk show host.
Oh my god.
Yep, you get what you fucking deserve.
Yeah. Does he still have his talk show on Netflix, or is that over now too?
No, it's a seasonal thing. I think it's David Letterman has a show or something like that. Has wants to talk. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, he does new batches of people every season.
Okay. I was gonna say I know he didn't truly like he retired off, the late show, but he basically just did another talk show just on Netflix.
Yeah, where he used to have a beard and curse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's free to do more. Hopefully
He did a Between Two Ferns where Galifianakis called him Crystal Meth Santa. That was great.
think he's still sleeping with his assistants.
Probably not. He got called out hard for that.
As he should. Like the number was outrageous when they were like, yeah, all of them. I was like, what the fuck?
Then he was like, I'm going to get ahead of this blackmail and tell everybody on TV. And everyone was like, Jesus, Dave, just give us the top 10.
Yeah, Jesus, Dave, we don't want to know you're cheating on your wife a lot.
This next one's from Sam. If I was only allowed one word to sum up this film, that word would be masturbatory. What an egotistical piece of shit. How did this get made? It was like a series of college videos about how cool am I and all my friends. Look at me being a wanker. And hey, here's Diddy and Ben Stiller and all these other famous people I know because I'm so fucking awesome. So bad that it made me physically angry. Half a star. Apt description, Sam. Well said.
That was very well said.
Look at me because I'm so fucking awesome. I love it.
It's like how angrier that fucking guy as it went along.
And this last one is from a different Sam Hernandez. I can't believe this is the same guy who dated Scarlett Johansson's voice. 3.5 stars.
my God.
Her was good. Her was good.
It was good. I actually do like that one. Um, that was good. I am shocked at that fucking letterbox rating. Like, what the fuck, people?
Yeah, 3.1. This this might be my least favorite thing we've watched. This had a Tom Green vibe, and I didn't like that. Joaquin got fingered. That's what this was.
Why? I would love the idea of like me just accidentally finding like a Tom Green vibe movie like once a year. It's just like
Well,
this,
thankfully we got it out of the way early.
right? It's just like this recurring thing I'm doing without even knowing it. I'm just like, all right, let's do that. And it's like, oh shit.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, that's what's in the box.
Nice. Well, with that, no, let's obviously not only close the box, but let's close the book on this episode and be done with this piece of shit film. Eventually, we're gonna have another one of those episodes, but it's a film we actually like. But I feel like it's been a while since one.
Last one I can remember, I think, is Kickboxer.
I think so. It's been just a lot of like, oh my god, this movie. Uh, so on that note, before I reveal what next week's episode is, be sure to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under FILMGAZM Productions. If you want to shoot us a recommendation, feel free to email us at filmgasm@gmail.com. If you would like to donate and support us in that week, find us on Anchor. And finally, feel free to get on our site, filmgasm.com, for trailers, articles, and all of our episodes. For our reviews, get on our letterbox. You can find me or Connor, and we're all friends with each other, and you can see what we're saying there as we have migrated to letterbox.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
Connor
yes.
95. That's where you want to go.
Yes. If you want to know how three of the FILMGAZM team members feel about Clerks 3, all of us have watched it and reviewed it on letterbox. And spoiler alert, we've all loved it. Next week, we'll be taking a look at what many people consider to be the absolute worst, the lowest of the low for this director of Shyamalan's entire filmography. That's right. The Happening. Not After Earth, The Happening.
The fact that that's a controversial statement, like, it's debatable what's considered his worst movie. Like, there are options. That's fucking sad.
I remember when After Earth came out, they got to the point where they just weren't advertising him. They were like, Will Smith's son. Will Smith.
I feel like if that movie were to come out now, there is no way to market it.
No. Not one bit.
M. Night Shyamalan. Wait a minute. Oh, Will Smith. Oh, hold on. Jaden. Shelve it. We can't sell this thing. Shelve it.
We got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're not doing After Earth. We're doing The Happening.
Yes, The Happening. The one that probably I would say being Pixar the verse because it's the most mocked of all of his films. So yeah, The Happening.
The one where he had to backtrack and be like, no, I intended it to be a comedy. Sure you did. Sure you did.
Sure. His first R-rated film, his second one being the upcoming one, Knock at the Cabin. Yeah, fun fact. So there's your fun fact about Shyamalan for the night. On FILMGAZM, they'll be taking a look at what many consider to be one of his best, aka in his early days when we thought he was the next fucking Steven Spielberg. Signs. I know it's a personal favorite of Connor's. Not necessarily me. I am in that camp that despises the twist. I like everything before that happens, but I'm in the camp that like the twist kind of ruins the rest of the film for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But again, I'm not going to take away what happens before that because what happens before that is actually good fucking directing and acting. It's like Shyamalan knew what the fuck he was doing then.
Yeah. I unfortunately don't get to leave Joaquin Phoenix for a while.
No, you're staying. And on Oscar Sunday, they'll be taking a look at the Michael Keaton comeback vehicle, the one that swept the Oscars and brought that man back to us, thankfully. Birdman.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun Best Picture showdown, looking at the nominees from 2014 Oscars. Some great films in there, and we're going to rank them and talk Birdman. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I have seen that film, so I actually look forward to listening to that episode because I have seen Birdman and actually do quite enjoy it myself.
Very nice.
Yes. So until then, if you ever happen to find yourself wanting to do a social experiment and secretly film yourself for whatever fucking reason, maybe reconsider and just tell people what you're doing. could mean a more positive reaction to your so-called mockumentary. See you next week on Beyond the Bad.